Clearly best girl. God damn, that was a very interesting episode. Let's review it. Episode 9. I mean, it goes from, you know, like, here's all the witches, or not all of them. Here's the, you know, crazy love witch, and here's the little evil girl witch that you shouldn't touch. And I was like, don't touch the girl. I was like, take your arm, and yeah, so. And then, of course, the last one, this is like, I'm crazy. And it's just like a loon, right? But the last thing was interesting too, because Satella, of course, appears. I love you, blah, blah. And then we do see Roswall, and he picks up the, I guess, the Grimoire, right? He picks up the, it looks like the gospel that, you know, Beako has. Yeah, look at it. The last ending scene here, right? It looks like in you know, Satella's shadow, whatever you call it. So it's interesting. Definitely ending too there, because it seems to be pointing at with Beako, right? Because last time Roswall mentioned to Subaru that you only have 2 of these, right? You have 2 of the true gospel, right? You have the one she has, which is like a better gospel future book than the other people has, right? Than like Beatrice had, and he has his own book too, right? So you would imagine that he has the other book then, right? That's what I'm thinking, right? That he has the second book. If he mentioned that there are 2 true gospels, would that mean he has the other gospel, right? And that will also might be, of course, like Satella is coming for him because she wants this gospel, right? That would be my guess. Yeah, she wants the book, right? And he has one of the, again, as I mentioned, that he would have one of the true books, right? As he knew, of course, why Becky was doing and so on. Very interesting. But anyway, yeah, let's go back. But if I say that immediately, I think that's probably what it is, right? He has the other book, I think. That makes sense to me. So anyway, yeah, Echidna, of course, sells the best girl, right? She's like, hey, I'm cute and smug, and yeah. I mean, Echidna, the whole episode is like, oh, you love me, boy? Yeah, I'm pretty cute. Yeah, like she keeps doing this, like, I mean, you feel that she might betray him, as I keep saying, but because she's always like, yeah, you like me, right? And she always does this like weird thing with her eyes, like this here, which is kind of like, she keeps doing this like weird, you know, body language. So you keep thinking that, I don't know, I mean, I love this character, the new best girl of Zero, but at the same time you're like, man, she's so suspicious. She's so suspicious, because she's always like, like, she constantly does this thing, right? So you sit there and wait that she's gonna do something, right? But anyway, as I said later, I don't think that Satella appeared, right? Because she introduced him to the other, which, yeah, it feels like she's like, I love this boy, he's my boy, right? He's my boy from another world. That's kind of like, yeah, like she's netto red, or she wants the book from from probably both. But anyway, she summons all the witches. One little angry girl, a chibi one. Talk about her first. And of course, and when you see this thing, right? When you see this thing, immediately, as I said in the reaction part, don't trust little girls, right? Has Subaru never seen an anime before? Has he never seen an anime where they're like, Asuboyane! Asuboyane! I mean, if anything that The Shining or someone had taught me, and similar horror show, is that we have a little girl like this. Especially with the flower thing, this midsummer, you know, the flower crans and so on, midsummer crans and so on. That kind of stuff looks even more suspicious, right? Yeah, that's even more evil. So she kind of broke him down with her magic, right? And made him into like a porcelain figure. But when that happened, he was still clearly alive. So her power was like, I can, you know, make you into this shit, right? But you... And I don't think he felt... It was kind of... I think it was kind of unclear. He, of course, panicked because he took his arm, right? He's like, oh, it's my arm now. So he panicked, but I don't necessarily think he felt pain. Because it didn't seem like he felt like physical pain. I mean, mental pain. But it didn't seem that he actually even felt almost not pain, which kind of broke him. She was like, I'm going to remodel you. So that's a kind of weird magic there. And, of course, she's quite... I mean, it seems both her and, you know, the third one as well, it seems quite childish, right? They're like some little girls just doing stuff to take her fun, right? Yeah, so the witches are quite different, right? I mean, Echidna is very like, you know, I'm a plan, right? And of course, next switch here, she's like, I wanna fight, yeah, she's all cray-cray, right? She's like a Melona, kind of like, yeah, physical badass girl, clearly the best girl. Clearly the best girl, excuse me, Tala, this is clearly the best girl. Clearly it won't be a twist. But this, her here, she felt similar to the later one. This is like a kid, right? A kid with like a massive powers, right? Clearly best girl. God damn, it crashed about best girl. Yeah, clearly new best girl, right? Minerva. Clearly enters and she's like, I'm badass, I'm gonna punch the crap out of you, and I do love punches. Yeah. And she's all like emotional and being like, I wanna meet you earlier. Oh man. This is clearly the new best girl, right? Come on, we all know it. This is clearly the new best girl. She enters, she's badass, she's like, I'm gonna use my love power. I mean, she has like, you know, love hearts in her hair and so on, right? So yeah, obviously, romantically, and actually, her what's it called? The collar. Yeah, I'm in the way here. The collar is also, you know, a heart, right? Yeah, like this, the backside collar, also a heart, right? So clearly, like a romantic, love power focused girl. Reminds me of, for example, what do you call it? In Dragon Ball Super, right? You have those 3 idol girls, and instead of fighting with like, you know, we have our she power, they have like love power, so they were like, oh, I can do like a love beam, and then like they powered up the more love they had, right? Then they were like cheerleading, and the more people loved it. Basically, you know how Goku has the Genkidama, right? People believe in him, and he gets the spirit, he can, you know, do a bigger ball, right? Those girls had like a love thing, right? The more people loved them on their planet, in the universe, they got more love power, right? Because they were like, I can feel everyone's love, and they got stronger. So she reminds me of that with her whole, yeah, punching hearts and so on. Yeah, the whole I'm a love magic fighter character. But clearly she was the most. But yeah, but come on, this is clearly the best thing of the episode. Come on! I mean, yes, we saw Satella, comment that later, but this woman is hilarious and, you know, super physical strong. You know, my favorite character in Separate is Melononat and Clover. My favorite female, of course, in Naruto is Tsunade, right? So obviously I'm like, yeah, awesome, a physical fighter woman. That's good shit. But yeah, no, she was awesome. She was awesome. Didn't see so much of her because she kind of quickly, hey, here I am, and you know, she kind of left after her anger. So we didn't see so much of her, but it was really good. She was probably had the shortest scene. Her and the, I guess, yeah. And anyway, and then we get, you know, turning into crazy. I create monsters and you hate me, and she's all like, it's fun or something, right? Yeah, so kind of as I expect, right? When you see her entering, this, you know, she enters, right? And of course Subaru is like, it's all your fault, whale, bunnies, it's all that she's happening, fuck you! Yes, of course Subaru hates her, right? Because she's behind, I don't know most of the deaths, but she's behind some of his deaths, right? Indirectly, right? Or I guess directly, whatever you call it. And she doesn't seem to be able to be reasoned to, right? She doesn't seem to be able to reason to. You're like, why did you create the whale? And she's like, I don't know, I like whales. You know, I wanted to eat it or something. Yeah, like she, goddamn witches. I mean, that feels like the other witches, right? They just feel very emotional, right? They're kind of, as they're called, like, you know, lust and greed and so on, right? And of course she loves Super because she's lust, right? So Satella later, they are very focused on their emotions, right? Like she's like, oh, you know, they have their emotion and that's what they're doing, right? So it actually makes sense, right? That they are very, very, how say it, immature, right? Yeah, immature. It's like, I do it because I wanted to do it. Yeah, it's like, what was your reasoning? I just wanted to do it because I'm hungry. It's like, why did you? I'm lustful. Yeah, kind of like that, right? So, yeah, poor Subaru is trying to reason with her. Why did you create all this crap? And she's like, it's like, thanks for the answer, good lady. Yeah. It's like, yeah, thanks you. So you kind of see that, right? And especially if we're giving this character, I expect the other witches we didn't see to be similar, right? Like they will probably just be like, you know, they would, I want to say it, they will be their lust or whatever. They will be their sin, right? Envious, of course, Echidna and so on, gluttony, and you know, and then the other witches, right? Pride and yada yada, right? And so on, right? The other, yeah, it feels a lot like that. When it's just like, so yeah, I mean, he didn't get so much from reasoning from her. She just pissed Subaru off. she just made him angry. But anyway, nice to see those 3 witches. Obviously, love fighter girl is best girl. Talk about the big stuff, of course. We see the witch, the main witch, the one that they've been fearing, the one that loves Subaru. She's lustful, so it makes sense. Satella is appearing, but we can't really see her full face, right? Or you don't see her face, we see kind of her mouth. You don't see her body shape. I mean, she probably has like, you know, Emilia look-alike. Yeah, you know. The thing is that thing when you see Satella here, right? Or as I say, you don't really see her. The thing is that one theory that I like, right? I'm not saying this is the real thing. I'm not saying this is the right thing, right? I'm just saying that when you have Satella appearing like this, right? Immediately in my head, I'm thinking that is she Emilia, right? And I don't mean that she necessarily will be our Emilia, right? That we know right now, but because the anime has, time travel, and so on, right? She could be future Emilia, right? Going past, and you know what I mean. Have you ever seen The Flash, where like every bad guy is Flash? Have you ever spoilers? But like, have you ever seen The Flash? Especially The Flash. I think in The Flash, it's like 5 of 10 of the bad guys is like some kind of reverse zoom or something, like torn or basically the same guy from different universes, right? Being the same bad guy in different time frames, and some of the bad guys is Barry himself, right? It's the Flash, like it's him from another timeline, like 3 of them at least. So whatever. My point is that because this anime clearly has time travel, given the main character and her power of rebirth and so on, right? It wouldn't be impossible to picture that Emilia would be either her, second form, her first form, and then this is like, Emilia who have lost it, and then she turned back in time, and whatever, right? It could be something like that. Anyway, why I say that isn't because I absolutely believe in this theory. I'm just saying it because it feels quite particular, I can't speak today, but it feels quite, why are they not showing her face? You know what I mean? I'm just coming from that aspect, right? The typical for me is like, why are you, cloaking her actual face, right? That could be because she's a character to be recognized, right? Which is, in her case, Satella is probably Emilia, right? So I kind of, to me, this gives water to that theory, because, yeah, we're hiding her face. She has a similar, we all know she looks like Emilia, right? Everyone says in the legend, right? And I keep thinking about, time traveling, back and forth and so on, right? That to me makes sense, right? That she would actually be her, the last thing, right? That's why she summoned him, some kind of time, some kind of time paradox thing. And one reason too, which I actually realized, honestly I really think right now, as I mentioned earlier in the review part, talking about with Roswall. Roswall has a book, right? Probably the other the true book that also Becco has, right? The true gospel. Isn't some kind of time future thing there, right? Because if you have a gospel that is telling you what's going to happen in the future, who has written a book that can tell you what's going to happen in the future? That could again be Emilia, right? Or subaru, whatever, right? But someone has detailed what's going to happen, right? And then travel back in time to be able to then write the book. Again, probably her, right? She's probably the one that wrote the book then, right? If that's the case. I'm just like, I'm kind of going from just what I see here, right? But I think that at least it makes sense to me. Let's ignore the Emilia Satella connection, whatever. It makes sense to me that they have these gospels that tell them the future, right? That there has to be time travel. That makes sense to me. Instead of actually being a magical thing that someone has seen in the future, that could be a thing too. But it also could be that someone actually has traveled from the future to the past, right? And that's what they can write down the correct time, right? Because they're like, oh, this is going to happen in 3 years from now. Because I lived there, right? So that to me makes a lot of sense, that someone has actually lived through this moment. That's why they know how to write this, like, the future Nostradamus book, right? So it's very interesting. So even if she wouldn't be Emilia, now she's going for this book, right? That Roswall has. And she probably wrote the book, though. No matter what, though, she or some of the other witches probably wrote the book, right? And she wants the book to be able to tell what's going to happen, right? That's what she's like enclosing Roswall. But yeah, she appears, and as I mentioned earlier, I really love the course when they were like zooming in on her, kind of hugging, embracing Subaru. And it's like, I love you, I love you, I love you. Yeah, and that was really well done, because they're like, I love you, I love you, I really love you. It's like, and you were like, oh my god, scary witch is here. Yeah. So I was like, holy shit, she's scaring me. She's mean lady. So yeah, that was really interesting. I really love that. It was really well done there, because she was basically getting closer and then decreased the volume, and it's like these volume things. That was really well done. That was really well done. But yeah, we didn't really get much of her motivation though, which is unfortunate. Right? We didn't really see what she's doing. Yes, this is the first time we see her appearing, and that's really interesting. But at the same time, we didn't really get to see her any motivation. She just appeared, right? And it's like, I love you, and it's like, and she left. Yeah, and then she left, right? So she didn't really get to see what she's doing, right? Similar to some of the other witches that is crazy. They're just in your face. But yeah, you know, leave a comment below what you think about my time theory. Of course, I completed it right now, but I like the idea there, especially because they're still covering her face. And of course, it's a theory I heard and I had earlier, but even more now with what she wants the future book. Because that actually I thought about right now, like how would they have a book that can tell the future? Because someone is from the future, right? I'm just like, yeah. But yeah, my ears, that was a very interesting point. That was a really good point. It was kind of scary. It had like a horror theme to it, right? If you watch a horror movie, it was a little bit of a shock value. They were going and increasing her size, had a bit of a shock value, right? And I also like that it makes sense, as the other witches are like, I am this, you know, emotion, right? She's the lust, right? She's like, I want you, I love you, Subaru, you're mine. And she also felt kind of natural. She's like, I'm here now, man. Don't hang out with my ex-girlfriend and kidnap. She's dead to me, you know. Like, I'm gonna date you. So that also felt a bit like she's here because she's angry that he was talking to the other witches, right? Kind of like that, yeah. She's like, oh, I'm jealous. Yeah, you know, I'm pissed off about this. You're my boyfriend. It's kind of like that kind of natural feel to it too, right? So I like that. I think it was very interesting that she kind of popped out from that in that aspect too, right? Anyway, I love talking long about this thing. I have a meeting now in 3 minutes now. So I need to. Anyway, subscribe, press the like button. Tomorrow we're doing a live stream where I talk about being a teacher. When I was at high school. The team is in high school. I was a high school teacher. It's gonna be my Negima Senku live stream tomorrow, and also maybe One Piece tomorrow if it's out. So anyway, see you guys and have a great day. I wish I could take a longer time really talking about this episode. Maybe I do a second longer review. I don't think so. But then later, I need to go now, guys. Have a great day.